Joining me now from Southern California, senior pastor at Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills, Jack Hibbs. Pastor Jack, this is one of those situations where you got a couple of choices here. You can fight the system or you can work within the system, and it sounds as though your organization, among others, is deciding to work within the system.
Yeah, Graham, exactly. They put this forward thinking, as you just said, that they're just going to put a grip on the California election so that it never goes any other way but their way. The great thing is that we are taking now their own law and using it against them in the sense of giving the freedom to the people who want to vote. The same rules would apply to any church that would host that type of registration or that type of sign up. We're doing it at our church. There's churches doing it across the state. But why let them do this? We need to take back our state for what is right and what is good. So absolutely.
And a lot of this centers upon this relatively new term to a lot of Americans and a lot of Californians, and that is ballot harvesting. There's some confusion over this. But in essence, it allows one person to motivate, if you will, another voter and physically take the ballot, in some cases, and stick it in the ballot box. And on your website, you have a couple of videos. Adrian, I want to roll this one clip from Pastor Jack's website. Roll tape.
Predominantly, Democrat operators went and collected votes from people that were in their homes, and we all thought that that was illegal and it was crazy and it was bizarre. And to be honest with you, it is strange, but it is legal. It's legal, and we too can participate in this.
It's legal in California, we should say, but other states it is highly illegal. So your challenge to your congregation is, number one, educate about this, and then number two, execute it, since it is the law.
Well, it is the law. And so what we're doing, Graham, for example, we're having voter collection. That's what we're choosing to call it, voter collection. And we're encouraging people to bring their ballots to us. They're the ballots, absentee ballots, vote by mail ballots. You can bring them, for example, to our church, and we're going to box them up, Graham, in bulk, and we're going to escort them to the registrar's office to make sure they all get there. And we're going to give people the exact same freedom and opportunity by getting the word out that you can do this now. And so we're going to use it for bringing California back from the brink of destruction.
Your church, Adrian, can you go to graphic number 2 right now? Your church on your website, which is, what is it, CalvaryCCH.org, CalvaryCCH.org. You have ballot information on there. So you're literally giving your congregation and anybody else who wants to dial up your website the information they need in California to look at the laws. And by the way, it's hard to keep track, all the changes that are going on in California, but you have a nice repository right there on your website to inform your congregation, and as I said, anybody else in California, or for that matter, throughout the country, who wants to educate themselves about what's going on in the once Golden State.
That's exactly right. Thank you for that. They can go to that site and they can actually click on, it will steer them to their county, their city in this state. It's comprehensive, it's all there, and everything's one stop for them.
All right, now, Adrian, go to slide number 1 now. I've completely obliterated the order of the segment, but I want to go to the Johnson Amendment, Pastor Jack. And again, a lot of Americans probably don't even know what the Johnson Amendment is. Effectively, it prohibited, or it still prohibits because it's still on the books, 501c3 organizations, other nonprofit organizations from engaging in politics. It's preventing preachers, reverends, priests, etc., from talking about politics at the pulpit. Yet, the Trump administration has decided, with a lot of consultation, I'm sure, to suspend any kind of enforcement of that. How important is that now going into the 2020 election cycle?
Well, Graham, this is incredibly important because pastors, they used to kind of hold off and say, well, I can't violate, I can't speak on election issues or candidates because of the Johnson Amendment, which would penalize a pastor or a reverend or a priest for doing so. That's now been suspended, as you just said, by Trump. What does that mean? It means that the church and the pulpit in the community should be the pinpoint center of information being given to that community about how to vote, and as Christians, how to vote biblical worldview values. This is throwing off the yoke of where the state has stepped in and put a grip on us And thank God for Trump, he said, no, pastors ought to be able to tell people what they want on these political issues.
Right, and so you can actually talk to your congregation now and say, hey, listen, this candidate is pro-life, and this candidate is pro-abortion at will anytime, right?
And that's exactly what I'm doing. I've been doing it. Actually, I've been doing it all my life, Graham. I've not obeyed the Johnson Amendment since I heard about it, but that's exactly what we're doing.
All right, so how does it work practically speaking this Sunday and then next Sunday in terms of ballot harvesting or however you want to phrase it now?
Sure.
You have your folks come in with their ballots and then you literally escort those ballots in the mail, or you bring them down to the polling place? How do you work?
Oh, no, we're not going to put them in the mail. We're going to take them. We are boxing them up. People are coming in. We saw people yesterday on Sunday come in, for example, from other cities of other counties who saw our Facebook post and the like and said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make sure that my vote gets there, and we are going to drive them to the registrar's office and deposit them there.
Can't be in safer hands than God's children's hands.
Amen.
Pastor Jack, I think that you are a model for the state, if not the country. Thank you very much.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.